Hi, welcome to this segment of the Service Delivery Excellence training. Actually, we're going to be taking Service Delivery Excellence, considering it in total as a whole, because we're going to be discussing some key subtopics in the training. So, among the list of the contents that we're going to be discussing, subtitles that we're going to be treating today on this subject is about the customer. We're going to discuss more to understand details about the customer. Then we'll go ahead to discuss about the customer service and as well as customer satisfaction. So if we can understand details about the customer, then we can go ahead and discuss about serving the customer and also ensuring that the customer is satisfied. Then we'll go ahead to discuss customer expectation, then proceed to service delivery and service delivery excellence. Okay, so that said, I want us to proceed into the session. So now, service delivery excellence in itself, at the end of this training, it is expected that everyone who has listened carefully would have a better understanding of the subject and also improve their relationship or their relations with customers and clients exponentially. Now, let's go ahead into the first part of it, which is about the customer. Who exactly is the customer? We're going to be discussing this in the part one of this training. So we're going to discuss about the customer and then customer report and engagement. Then as we're going to now consider what customers want with regards to service delivery. Now, who exactly is the customer? So the customer is anyone who sees value in the service or product of in a service or product actually and is willing to pay for it. So now, if I see a product or if I see value right in a product or in a service and I am willing to pay for it, that makes me a customer. The same thing it says. So as long as I see value in that product or service and I'm willing to pay for it, meaning I'm willing to pay for it and I have the capacity to pay, so it makes me like a potential customer. So that's in a nutshell who a customer is. Now, we need to understand also the importance of having customers in an organization, because as service delivery or service representatives or customer care representatives, when we have a good understanding about the customer, understand even the importance of customers, then we will know how to manage and relate with customers right. Sometimes when I want to say everybody knows about the importance of customers, but yes, I think that's just going to be like a subconscious sense of importance. But that does not reflect more like in the day-to-day activity of the service representative, because sometimes um, we get so much carried away with work with the stress of the job, and at the end of the day, we don't we begin to become very much familiar with customers and we treat them the way we like. So that's not acceptable. So now, importance of customers, which is very much important here, to know that customers are potential market influencers. However we relate with them or how we deal with them, how we service them or we serve them, right, would determine how they will talk about the brand, what they will say about the brand, how they will discuss about the brand among the circle of influence. And the circle of influence includes their friends, their associates, their family members, their club, right? All these are more like their colleagues as well, are the places of influence of a potential customer. So they are immediate circle of influence. Then we'll go ahead to talk about customers. Of course, without the customers, as employees, will not get paid. Of course, customers practically pay us our salaries as service representatives. Then it's also important to note here that customers free marketing tools. So of course, if we treat them right, they'll market the brand for us. Take for instance, there are times when we've been so wowed about a particular product or service, and we just want to tell every other person, "Oh, I got this smartphone." Da, 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 da. Of course, there are certain smartphones. When people get them, like the generational ones, where this 15 phone 16 comes out, phone 17 comes out. Everybody wants to, and they want to tell their, oh, I've got this phone, I've got that phone, I've got this, I've got that. Because why? So that's indirectly people marketing without even knowing what they are. That's exactly what it is, because they're so wowed about it. So they are so they feel so excellent they feel that the product yeah, is up to par, right? They make bold to talk about it. That's how it ought to be. So when customers are um, treated right, when customers are served very much well, it brings about this kind of result for an organization. Okay, that said, so of course, customers will always recommend. They will recommend, and also they will refer people to the brand or to the product anytime, any day. Of course. Then also customers provide feedback. So those times customers will complain and say a lot of horrible things to the service representative, talk about the brand in anger or in rage because of a failure, service failure or downtime. So at those times, of course, there can be constructive feedbacks that will be derived so that to prevent or to forestall future occurrence of such kind of situation. So from those that when customers speak, even when they are not enraged or when they are enraged, all of them provide feedbacks with which innovations and improvements can be made upon. Now, rapporting with customers, it is very much important that when we engage with customers, that we engage right with them. We understand that yes, even though the customer might even be our friend or whatever, so we build connections with them. Yes, but we still have to respect them. So now, but if this is a new customer and we're engaging with this customer, so it's important to know these basic things that will guide um, a rapport or a conversation or communication with customer. Pronouncing customer's name very well, accurately. So if you can't pronounce the name, of course, um, just refer to them um, sir, ma, right? So, but more importantly, it endears people when you can pronounce their name well and address them with respect. Hello, Mr. XYZ. And and more importantly, say Mr. We're addressing them by their surname. So it creates that sense of connection there. Of course, where these are titled people who refer to them as by their title. Of course, if they are doctor, chief, whatever it is, want to refer to them engineer, want to refer to them by their title. Okay, that said, also ensure that we must introduce ourselves, right? If you're having a conversation first time with someone, let them understand who you are, in what capacity you work, and what you do for the organization. This is very key. Then be genuine, be authentic, and also ask the customers for their welfare. Then we'll also go ahead to talk about practicing active listening and as well as responding off script. So if we do have a script, oftentimes these are for calls. Um, Maybe possibly we want to we're supposed to make phone calls. So in the time where we're supposed to make phone calls, we find out that we will follow through with all the details of the conversation, follow through with all of them, and at the end of the day, when we are responding to those scripts, we don't just be like it's not like a stereotype or more like a dummy response. No, it has to be creative and constructive. So don't just keep responding via the same script, the same. So if the customer calls the same thing, the same thing, the calls each day, so every new day they call is just the same thing. So it has to be innovative, right? But there's always a template. So we're not making we're paying close attention to the template that is designed by the organization. Follow the procedure, both spice up the conversation and let it be actually be real to the customers. Okay, then that said, let's go ahead to the next one. So of course, um, when we have conversations with customers, we have to practice active listening and respond off script. Then also when customers are angry and they need to speak, let's leave them to speak. That is air their mind. It's important that we allow them to speak freely. Then we have to pay close attention to every reported complaint and address them as also we stick to those problems and help them understand how we're going to be solving that problem in due time. Then active listening, customer engagement rules. So now In engaging customers, there are rules, of course. Pay close attention to details, active listening. Then we'll go ahead to talk about polite questioning. So when we need to get information from customers, we ask them politely. So not like we are trying to pass off some sort of remarks on them. So we listen actively when we're having a conversation with customers. Then we ensure that we politely question them. Then we pay attention to non-verbal cues and confirm requests before processing. This is very much important when having a conversation with a customer. So now, but if we would say in essence, what exactly do customers want? When we engage with customers and try to provide solutions for the customer, and what exactly do they want us to do for them? So now, when we're having a conversation or we're engaging with customers, customers want us to listen to them. They want the organization to listen to them. Now, it means when we're listening to customers, we're paying rapt attention. We're giving them our full attention to understand exactly what it is that they have to tell us, right? Very, very much important and particular here that if a customer is trying to get our attention, we give them the attention and let them give us all the information that they want to give to us. And so we do that by listening to them. Then we pay close attention so that we can understand them, right? So while we are listening, we want to pay close rapt attention to ensure that we are understanding the customers, right? So it's not like we don't even understand what this person is saying. We need to know that we need to let the customer understand that we are listening to what they are saying and we're understanding them. So where there is ambiguity, we can ask questions. We can call their attention to it and ask them questions. Then question customers politely. In the bit to ask them questions because we want to understand what they are saying. It means that we have to post and politely question them, draw their attention to it, and ask them whatever question that we need to ask them. Then when it comes to the needs and goals, so when we're asking them questions to ascertain the needs, to understand, so that to ensure that we understand it, right? We are the one who is trying. There is a service representative. We're the one who is trying to understand the customer. So in doing that, ask questions where so don't just assume that you've understood what the customer is saying. Because sometimes you think you may have understood what the customer is saying, but guess what? You might just be on the wrong side of things, thinking that you've understood it, and yet you have no idea. You don't even understand exactly what the customer practically wants. Okay, now that said, we'll go ahead to discuss on the next one. So then we'll treat the customer's request with respect, right? Now that we've come to know what the customer wants, we're going to be treating their request with respect. Ensure that every single thing that the customer requested or every single detail of the customer's request is properly taken note of, so that we don't miss them and come back to start asking the customer, please, what did you even say, or what exactly did you want us to do? So it will seem as though we never paid attention. This is very much important and imperative at this point. Now, the next one on the list is to answer and resolve reported complaints effectively. So now, how do we go about this? We find out that customers themselves, when they have issues, they want to also ask questions. So we're going to be answering customers, and whatever it is that they have reported to us, we're giving them a feedback. So if it is a complaint and they're trying to get our attention to it, then it means that we are going to provide them all the details that they require. That is exactly what we're going to be doing at this time. So now, the next on the list is going to be assisting customers through the issue resolution pathway. So when we assist customers with through the issue resolution pathway of any challenge that they have, so now they give us they come up with issues of with challenges of what they want sorted out. Then we'll go ahead and sort them out. But we're going to be assisting them through the issue resolution pathway. So we're not just throwing the whatever it is on them and say, go sort them out by yourself. So if it's a problem, if it's a challenge, it means that we're outlining what needs to be done. Then we follow through with it and ensure that it is practically delivered before we go ahead and that to ensure that before we go ahead and discharge the customer. So if we're discharging the customer, we're ensuring that the customer is fully satisfied and served, right? Then afterwards, um, still on the same what how we can help the customer get solution now and what they want. Customers also would want commercial value. So if customers are paying for something, we want to ensure that they get value for it. So it's not that customers have made payment and we make them feel as though okay we're after the money and after they made payment and we just ghost them or do whatever it is or treat them with levity. No, that should not be so. Of course, customers want us to be authentic at all times. So we're going to stay authentic to the customer, truthful, what can be done, what cannot be done, help them. So if we're making promises, we are genuine with the promises. We're not telling customers, oh, we'll get this done or we'll resolve the issue in 24 hours or in 7 or in 2 hours, and 2 hours become 20 hours and 20 hours become 2 days. So whatever it is that we can be able to do. So we make promises within the limits allowed by the organization. Then we talk about consistency in standards and quality. Customers want consistency. So now, if this is how we do things, then we need to be consistent as long as it's and that standard is accepted by the customer. If it is not accepted, it means that something is wrong. Then we have to upgrade. Then, when we mean consistency here, we mean consistency with quality service. So, but if it is less than acceptable, then it means that we have to continuously improve on it. It shouldn't go below. Consistency does not mean there will be no room for improvement. No, consistency practically means putting a benchmark so that the option does not go or the service representative does not go below that standard when it comes to service delivery. Then speedy and expedited issue resolution. Very, very imperative here. Customers also want us to be very much speedy and provide expedited solutions when we operate with them. Then finally, customers want consistency with service and turnaround time. So if it is if our delivery timeline is 24 hours, 24 hours, then it should be we shouldn't exceed that 24 hours. So each time and all the time, we need to ensure that customers are provided optimal service at all times. Okay, that said, go ahead to the next session. So, but at this time, we're going to be summarizing this session that we've taken. There's details about the customer, trying to understand the customer. So, in a nutshell, right, we've come to understand that the customer is a potential sale influencer. So, and how we address a customer or how we treat a customer will determine if they will come back or if they're going to refer or speak well about our products and our services to their friends or to their circle of influence, right? So we want to be very careful about that. So every good impression that we create in the mind of the customer, they go behind and tell their friends. So it cuts the organization the marketing cost. That's that, and the PR cost as well. So you find out that there's some brands today, they don't, because they provide excellent service. So everyone talks about them. They don't need to do PR. They don't need to run marketing. People because of excellent service. So whoever tries out the service tells another. Whoever tries it out tells someone else. Whoever just they tell someone else, and that is for free, right? So as representative, we must ensure that this is one of the major things that we're going to be accomplishing for our employer organizations each time. Then customers also are provide the resources that keep us on the job. So without the customers, there will be no service representatives at all in the first instance. I think that is that. And it brings us to a nutshell about trying to understand the customer with regards to providing service delivery excellence. Okay, so now I will moving on to the next slide, which is on customer service. So I will end this particular one here. Thank you so much for listening.